Hey, hey. Hello. Are we live? I always ask that question. Yes, we are live. Hello, it's Julie from Do Business Like a Woman, and it is good to see you today. So, today's topic is how to stay consistent in your business, even when life gets in the way and throws you a spanner into the works, which, let's face it, it does happen. And it happens quite often. So, how do we deal with this? So, that's what I'm covering in today's topic. And this is one that's quite near and dear to my heart. And I'll share with you why in just a moment. But what I really want to get to today is okay, look, this is not the only thing we have in our lives, right? We're busy women, a lot of you are busy mums, right? You are juggling family, work, trying to build your business, being a great partner, all of these different demands on your time and your energy. And sometimes continuing to show up in your business, continuing to be consistent, not starting and stopping can seem like the hardest thing in the world. And it can feel like, it looks like everyone else is consistent and we're not, and it can make us feel like a huge failure. Who's been there? Who has experienced this? I'm pretty sure it's not just me. Um, and maybe like me, you have a health condition that you are managing as you build this business, and it feels like a huge handicap. It feels like something that potentially can really hold you back. And I'll share a little bit about mine in a minute and how I navigate that. Or for you, maybe you're still at that place where you're juggling other work. Maybe you have a job, a daytime job, something you're doing in the meanwhile as you build your business on the side. Maybe your business is not quite your full-time thing yet. And so you're having to go out and do other things to make money. And there just isn't enough time in the day or energy in the day to do all of the things. And this is the reality of life. As much as, a lot of coaches that we see online like to sugarcoat it and say that it's all so easy and they're just sitting back manifesting all these clients without doing a scrap of work in 2 hours a day just by putting out good vibes, right? It's not true. It doesn't work like that, but at the same time, we, as the women that we are, we're not okay with burnout, right? We're not going to sacrifice our health, our well-being, our life, our family, all the things that bring joy just to build a business. So where is that sweet spot where we can get to live our lives, get to do the things, and still be consistent in our businesses? And that is what I want to talk about today. And I'm not saying that I have this perfect or that I have all the answers for you. I most certainly do not. However, I feel like by having this conversation, by opening it up and sharing, we can support each other. I certainly have found things along the way that have worked for me and have helped me to be really consistent over the years. And I'll share with you, and I'll share the times that I have been consistent and also the times that I haven't, and sort of the realizations that I've had that have helped me, as I've taken this journey and taken these steps. And one thing I can share with absolute confidence is, I have been working for myself as my full-time thing for over 6 years now, and 11 years in the industry, but fully working for myself, self-employed. And I've had in different ways over the years. So I've had various clients, from coaching clients, consulting clients. I've gone in and done things behind the scenes for other coaches at different points in the journey, but have been fully self-employed for like at least the last 6 years, possibly longer. So this is something I feel that I get to speak to, and hopefully some of what I've learned will support you as well. So if you are here on the live, just drop live into the comments. Give me a little hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're on replay, it's hashtag replay in the comments, please. And let me know you're here, because I love connecting with you. I love hearing how you're getting on, how I can best support you. And if you are new to our community, welcome, welcome. You know, a lot of you I know I've known from before, I've known for quite a while, but there are some new people in our community. So welcome, newbies. Great to have you, and give us a little hello in the comments as well. Okay, so let's get into it. So first of all, I think I better have a sip of water first of all. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say I really get you on this. Like, if you've had any level of difficulty staying consistent when you've been trying to build your business, if you've ever started and stopped, if you've ever had streaks of kind of being energized and consistent and going out there and then it's dropped off, something's got in the way, a life event, right? A family emergency, something in your relationship, you know, a relationship breakdown, a health issue, could be anything, but something has happened in your life and it's pulled you away and you've stopped being so consistent. And then before you knew it, you know, days had gone by, sometimes weeks had gone by, even months, and you had got out of that habit of being consistent. If you have experienced any of this, know that we all experience some of that in our businesses at different times. So first of all, please know there's nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. This does not speak to your ability to create a successful business. This speaks to the fact that you are a human being. And what I'm going to share with you today will just help you proof your business for when these things occur, because with the best will in the world, you know, we wish that every day was just straightforward, you know, we could just get up, be energized, that our energy was always the same, which as women, it really isn't. You know, women with cycles or people with cycles, our energy is not the same all month. But we kind of have this fantasy. Well, I do. Tell me if you relate, that you know, with every day we're just going to get up, we have the same energy, we'll be energized, ready to go, we'll sit down at our computer, we'll have our client creation activities, we'll go for it, we'll be on fire, get them all done, tick them off, cross them off, you know, get on the sales calls, close the clients, and it will just be like that every day, right? It's like this business fantasy. Well, tell me if that's ever worked out for you, because it's never been that straightforward for me, and I suspect it probably isn't supposed to be, right? So as women or people with menstrual cycles, our energy is not the same all the way through the month. And that's just one factor, not to mention, you know, seasons of your life, things that you go through. So I just want to normalize this for all of us and say, if there's any level of beating yourself up for feeling like, I should be more productive, I should be able to show up every day, please know I get you, I hear you, I do the same, my heart goes out to you, and I'm speaking to myself as well. Please, let's stop doing that to ourselves, because it's not supportive and it's not helpful. And I'm going to share something personal here. So some of you know this about me. If you know me, some of you will not. But I have a chronic health condition, endometriosis, which creates very challenging, painful periods. And so at least once a month, like, you know, once every month, there will be around 3 days where I cannot work. And I do mean I cannot, right? Believe me when I say I have tried in the past everything, powering through, trying to push through. I've worked on my lifestyle, my diet, I've had an operation, so many things. And please, I know some of you are going to want to fix this for me. I know that. I really get it. Please, I'm not asking for you to try and fix this for me, because this is not an easy fix, right? It's something that I've struggled with. I've had ever since I was 14 years old and I started menstruating. And it's something that over the years I have learned to work with. It's something that I have made improvements. It's way better than it used to be, but I appreciate everybody in this in our community of coaches and healers and everything. When I talk about this, people always want to fix it for me. And I get that, and I appreciate you, and thank you so much. And that is not what I'm asking for here. So please don't reach out and offer me anything like healing modality, anything like that. As much as I'm open, believe me, I'm on my journey with this, and I trust that the right thing will find me. But that's not what this is about, right? So, because everyone always tries to do that, and I really honor that. But this is a journey that I'm on. It's something that I have been working with for years and made huge improvements. But also, it's something I came to realize it's part of doing business like a woman, that we honor our cycles, and I no longer try and push through and power through. And any clients that I work with know at this point, when it's my period, I will tell them it's my period, and they know what that means. They know I'm going to be gone for 2-3 days, and they just let me rest. And they know as soon as that's done, my energy's back up. I'm going to be back with you, and we're going to be on fire, and let's work. And what I've come to is that I embrace that, rather than, we're not men here in this community. We are, as a society, so trained to try to work like men and have the same energy every day. We're not like that. We're women, we're cyclical. We have very different energy at very different times of the month. So please, let's honor that. And what I've seen for me so clearly is that, when I'm on my period, I rest. Okay. The days before and leading up to my period are more reflective. It's time to do behind the scenes work, not really engage with people so much, certainly not be on kind of sales calls and things like that. And that's okay. And then, as my energy comes back up right after my period, then it's a great time to really go out there, go for it, be front facing, run challenges, do lives, connect with people, get on calls. And so there's a way of really working with our cycle and working with our energy as women that supports. And this has been part of my journey. So I wanted to share that. Actually, that is a complete tangent, because that's not even on my notes here, but maybe somebody needed to hear that today. Maybe that's helpful for you. What I do have here on my notes is know what season you are in. So, another personal story coming up, but so often in business, we are going through something huge, like a relationship breakdown, like, I don't know, a big health crisis, like a divorce, like a bereavement of a significant family member. And yet we are so conditioned that we are trying to push through, and we're so, as female entrepreneurs, used to showing up, being consistent, putting our stuff out there in the world. And I've seen this in other people, and I've seen it in myself, that they have just been walloped by life with something huge. I'm not talking about the sort of everyday stuff that happens, like, oh, we had an argument with our spouse. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, a breakup of a marriage, right? That's been like a 20-year marriage. I'm talking about losing a parent, right? I'm talking about some of the big stuff. And they go through that, and then they expect to just be able to show up business as usual in the same way, and they are being hard on themselves and piling it on as to why they're not able to do that. And, give ourselves some grace. I mean, as somebody who went through a couple of years ago a narcissistic abuse relationship and kind of came through the other side, but really struggled for a little while there, I can tell you, there was a time where all the pushing in the world wouldn't have done me one bit of good, because I was not in the season where I was supposed to be front facing, where I was supposed to be getting my ideas out there or creating something new. Life was telling me, take space, take space, go inwards, wait, do your healing, wait well. And it's so hard when we're in that season, because we can be like, but I need to earn money, but and the mind gets so busy, and well, I have to do this and I have to do that, and what about my business? And I am not suggesting for 1 minute that you drop your business like a hot potato. I'm going to come on to that, because there is a balance here. Now, for me, during that season, I actually chose to take a step back from my business for the first time in like 10 years. And I'm not saying you have to do this. I actually just went down a slightly different route with my business, and I did some consulting and high ticket sales for other coaches, big established coaches, because that is what I wanted and needed to do at the time. And actually, for me, it was a huge reset. It allowed me the space to breathe, to reconnect, to see what was next, to see what was happening in the market. And then when the time was right, which is now, I reconnected in with my own business. Okay, I really want to support again. I really want to rebuild the coaching arm of my own business. But during that season where I was really struggling personally, it would have done me no good to push ahead. Now, if you have an established business with processes in place, you can go through something like that and your business can survive, right? Which we'll talk about. But even if you haven't, and I didn't really, because I had processes, but my business was very reliant on me showing up, and I hadn't really scaled it in that way. So, but that's okay, because I know how to get a business going. And when it was time for me to come back, it was all still there. I mean, okay, I didn't have all the clients that I had before, but once you know how to do this, and you know how to reactivate, and you know the processes that create clients, you're not starting over. I want you to hear that, because it's really important. You are not starting over, you're just picking up where you left off, right? Because all of your experience that you built before, all of that going through the trenches, taking the actions, building that muscle of like doing those awkward things, and the DMing and the sales calls and all of the stuff, you have that muscle memory, you have that skill. So when you are ready to come back, you are not starting over. You still have connections, you still have all of that. So I'm sharing that with you. And actually, I'm just going to share something from my mentor, Megan. And she always says, amateurs start over and over again. Professionals pick up where they left off. Now, I'm paraphrasing there. I'm probably hashing the quote, but it's like that, right? Amateurs start over and over again, keep starting anew. Professionals just pick up where they left off. So we get to be professionals here, right? You are a professional, and I don't want you to feel, because a lot of you here, you've been doing this a little while, this is not your first rodeo. That experience counts. It really does. Whether you feel that you have created success or not, or whether it's just small wins count, right? If you have ever created a Facebook group, I'm giving an example now, it doesn't have to be this, but if you've ever created a Facebook group before, and whether you generated clients or not, you have that experience. And I speak to so many women who tell me like, oh, I created a group before, it was so hard work, it didn't work, or it's dead, or I don't have the right people in my group, they're not ideal clients. I cannot tell you the amount of times I hear this, and I feel you, but what you're really saying there is, I don't know how to activate my audience in a way that moves them from being browsers to being buyers, right? And that's why I'm here to support you with that. But this was all because know what season you're in, right? Because if you really genuinely are in a season where something big has happened and life is telling you to rest, you rest, right? And you trust. And that's what I had to do. And you trust that when it is the time, you will get that energy again, you will get that inspiration. Now, do not hear this. If you're someone who tends to not take action and tends to procrastinate, this is not like, oh, just put your feet up and never do anything. It's not like that. We know the difference. And if you're really honest with yourself, you know whether you're someone who really needs to kick up the bum and needs that accountability and those daily client creation activities and the focus, and that's where you need to be right now, you know. Or if you're genuinely in a place where life is guiding you to take a rest right now and trust. And I know kind of both of you, and I've been in both of those seasons. So it's about being in touch with our own journey, right? And with source, to know where we are and know what season we're in. Is this making sense? Let me know in the comments if this is making sense to you. I really hope so. If you find that you're in a season where you're needing to rest, and a season can be, it could be a year, it could be 6 months, it could be a couple of days, right? Absolutely take the space you need. You know, I'm all for being consistent. I'm all for not stopping and starting. And this journey is so much easier when we don't stop and start. And this time around, trust me that I am in this for the long game. I always have been, but I'm in this for the long game. And I'm going to be building systems so that the next time that a life event comes, my business can keep going, even if I need to take a break. Right? And I think that's what we can all be aiming for, right? I'm never going to be one who's going to be fully hands off in my business. I love it too much. I love connecting. I love supporting. But we can build systems and processes and have support that supports us so that things keep ticking along when, not if, when we need to take a break for whatever reason. And so that's part of my kind of learning and growing and next level. And if you do have identified that you need space, you know, for a certain client, it might just be like, I'm starting to feel a bit burned out. Let me just take a couple of days off where I unplug. I don't do any social media. I go and I rest up properly, guilt-free. And then I come back, I reconnect in, I pick up where I left off, and we're going again. Consistency can look like that. It doesn't have to look like, and shouldn't look like, a poor little person chained to their desktop, chained to their laptop, absolutely exhausted, no fresh energy, right? That's not doing business like a woman. There's nothing juicy about that. There's nothing pleasurable. There has to be this balance here of like going out, enjoying your life, coming back, doing the client creation activities. You know, again, my mentor, her whole brand is structured freedom. And I just love that because it's like structure. You sit your bum down, you do the client creation activities. This is my work. This is what I help people with. And we do that. And then you go, and because of that structure, you have your freedom time and you have your time where you're away and you're not thinking about work and you get to be present with your family. And that for me is really do business like a woman. And each of us gets to walk that path and find out what that means for us. And we can go out of balance either way. But for most of us, we tend, in this community, I think we tend to pushing quite hard. Some of you maybe not, but certainly for me over the years, that has been my tendency, and more towards the burnout. So definitely like enjoying life, giving myself that space, but then also being disciplined enough to sit my bum down, do what I said I'm going to do, show up and do the damn thing, right? Do the client creation activities. Who's with me? Give me a thumbs up in the comments if that's you. And so giving yourself space when you need it. But then the next one is having a process and committing to showing up, right? And that's what we're going to get back into now. So I'm actually going to give you the steps here, and then we'll unpack a bit more. So we've covered so here they are. So the first one is knowing what season you're in. The second one is giving yourself space when and where appropriate. The third one is having a process and committing to showing up for that process day in, day out. The fourth one is get back on the horse as many times as it takes. Get back on the horse as many times as it takes. And the fifth one is surround yourself with a community of others who get it. And this is really important because it's because I did that I was able to come back into my business and relaunch really powerfully and get clients like within the first 60 days. And it was really my community and my connections that pulled me back in, and that meant I wasn't starting from scratch. And I'm going to unpack that a little bit, but let me just go back to number 3, which is having a process and showing up. So this is all about the client creation activities, which is what I'm teaching in the 60-day sprint. Turn browsers into buyers, hello to sold in 60 days, right? So this is what I did. This is what we're going to be doing together. And I'm going to be leading this 60-day sprint. It's a no-brainer price at the moment of £75 for founding members. It will not be this price again. So if this is something you're called to, definitely going to want to jump in. I've been DMing some of you about this. If it's something you're interested in, send me a DM. I'm happy to give you the details, but I'm really excited about it. But this is basically the activities that work in today's market, because we are in a trust recession, right? People are not buying and committing as quickly or the way that they used to. So how do you build that trust quickly without burning out? What are those daily activities that you're going to love, actually, because they have to do with connection, they have to do with creativity. But I'll tell you, you are going to be outside of your comfort zone. So I'm not promising that this is going to be easy. It's simple. It's actually simple. And you can do this because these are timeless strategies. But I didn't say it was going to be easy. And that's why we've got the 60-day sprint to hold you, the accountability, the energy of doing it together, working together, and also that ignition energy, right? That get it done. Let's do it together. It's a 60-day sprint. We're going to do this. And that is what creates the fire, the results. So would love to have you as part of that. But I'm going to be sharing with you the daily activities. You know, I've talked a lot about them here. So there's some other training in the guides section of this group where I actually give you the activities. I don't think I'll go into it today because this training will just get too long otherwise. And there is the other training right there in the guides. It's only about 5 sessions down, so you can go find that. And I actually talk about the client creation activities, what you need to be doing today in 2025 that's actually working for today's market. But what I see over and over again is that I give these to people, they know what to do, but actually we forget, we human beings, life gets busy, our minds get busy. So what we need is every single day, I need this too, right? A reminder, a simple, here is what to focus on when you sit down. We love to call it power hour, growth hour, connection hour, whatever you want to call it. But what are you actually doing during that time? First and foremost, to promote your business, to connect with potential clients and serve. It needs to come first. I'm going to share a tip with you. You want to do this in the morning, right? Game changer. If at all possible, do it first. Because it's your business. It's so important, and it will get done. But we need that daily reminder. Even I do, and I teach this damn stuff, right? Where I just need to make it so simple. And I have no ego around this. I still look at these every day. Okay, what do I need to be doing? I need to be connecting. I need to be going live and sharing specific strategic content and value. I need to be talking to people. I need to be leading them through that process from browser to buyer, hello to sold. that's on me, right? And that's what I'm going to teach you in the sprint. That's what we're going to be doing. So really, really excited. But you need those processes, because without those processes, you will inevitably fall off. And it's so much harder to get back into it when you have to think about, what should I be doing from a million different things and a million different things you could be doing to build your business. Who's been there? And shiny objects and distraction and all of it, to actually, damn, just tell me what to do. What are those simple client creation activities that are going to be the fastest path to your clients, to you bringing money in, and feeling that confidence and having those quick wins, right? That you know you're making progress. Who's with me? This stuff is so important, and it's quite basic, it's quite foundational, but we forget it all the time. And I've even seen with some of the really established coaches that I've worked with, they forget this stuff too, and that's when they struggle. So this process, this nurturing, moving someone from browser to buyer, this is key. This is what will get you your 6 figures, or your consistent 5K months, or consistent 7 or 10K months, whatever it is that you are going for, and even the small wins before that, right? So yes, having that process, having those client creation activities, bum on seat, get it done. That's what we're all about in the sprint and in this community. And I'm more than happy to share. You know, part of it is implementing, doing it together. Awesome. Next one, number 4, get back on the horse as many times as you need to. Oh, this is key, because what are we really talking about here? As with anything in life, what we're actually talking about here is habits, right? This is a business building habit. That's all it is. It's a bit like if you want to have the habit of meditating. I don't meditate, by the way, but I try to meditate daily as I go around my business, and I take conscious breaths and I do yoga. But you might meditate, or maybe you have a yoga habit. I have a yoga habit. Maybe you have an exercise habit or eating habits, right? Everybody has habits. This that we're talking about here, consistency, all it is really is a business habit. And so, you know, if we were going to get into habits, you can talk about, all right, what's the trigger for that habit? What's the behavior, the client creation activities, and then what's the reward? And we're not talking of rewards of getting clients and money. You will do that, but that's the longer term win. But you need rewards before that. So I'm talking about when you sit down and you send those DMs, even though maybe it feels out of your comfort zone, or it feels awkward, or maybe your win is you go in your Facebook group and you invite some people, right? Or you post when you haven't posted for like 6 months, right? And you need to reignite your group. Those are wins. And you need to reward yourself for that, whether it's a lovely cup of coffee afterwards, or, you know, you get to watch a bit of reality TV. I don't know, but it's building in those rewards, right? But we need that business habit. And as with any habit, likelihood is we're going to fall off sometimes and we're going to stop doing it. Well, who cares? Like, who gives an F? Just get back on the horse. And the only difference between someone who's successful in business and someone who isn't, the person who isn't stopped, right? They stopped getting back on the horse. They gave up. Get back on the horse as many times as you need to, because this is your thing, right? This is your mission. This is what you want to do. We're playing the long game here. So back on the horse as many times as you need to. Oh, and this is important. No shame, right? I've written here, no shame. Because sometimes we can feel like, oh my God, what will people think? They've seen me not be consistent. They're going to be judging me. I don't care, right? Throw it out the window. I care about you, but I don't care about, let's not shame ourselves. There's no shame. Remember, right? Experts just pick up where they left off. No apologies needed. Right back in. Here you are, serving again. That's all you need to do. Back on the horse. Just like with yoga, if you went on holiday and you stopped doing it, you come back, what do? You don't beat yourself up. Oh, I'm so, maybe you do, but you know, maybe I'm such a terrible person. I stopped doing my yoga. I'm awful. that negative self-talk, we all know it's not helpful. So let's throw that out. You just start doing your yoga again. Same with this, just start doing your client creation activities again, back on the horse as many times as you need to for you to create that habit. That is what leads to success. No shame, right? We've banned it. No shame allowed. And then the fifth one is surround yourself with community and others who get it. You know, when I had my break, my time where I went and did consulting, and it wasn't, you know, I was still in the industry, so, but I wasn't building this group, I wasn't like actively coaching my own clients so much, and, you know, I wasn't really building this arm of my business. The thing that pulled me back in when the time was right was the fact that I was still connected on Facebook and, you know, to other amazing women entrepreneurs. I still had those connections, I still had the community, and it reminded me of who I am, what I'm supposed to do. And it was really through those connections that it reignited in me, and I was able to come back in. If I hadn't had that community, I would have been like a ship lost at sea, just out there somewhere. How the hell do I get back? How do I start? Where are my people? But when you have that community of peers, of people on the same path, you know, supporting each other, whether they're friends, business besties, coaches, mentors, peers, all of it's important. Clients as well, your clients, and you start reconnecting and they pull you back in. They absolutely do. So community is really important. As I started connecting back in, clients were then saying, can I work with you again? Can you help me with this? Mentors were reminding me, you've got this, you can do this, this is who you are, let's go, right? And so I was able to pick up, get going again, and very quickly create the momentum again. If I hadn't had that community, I would not have been able to do that. Community also allows me to now stay consistent because every day I'm connecting in. Now, hear me on this caveat. I'm not coming onto Facebook and consuming all day. I am discerning about who I'm listening to, about who I'm following, about what I'm taking in. I have a couple of mentors that I listen to and follow and support me. I have clients, I have peers, business besties, but it's not everything that pops up in my Facebook feed. And I think we all have to be discerning. But when you get value from someone, when it makes sense for you, when you get activated from them, lean in, lean in. And we love having you as part of this community. And again, this is what the 60-day sprint, turn browsers into buyers, is all about. We're starting really, really soon. So would love to have you come join and be part of that. As I say, no-brainer price, £75 this time around, only this time around. So if that makes sense to you, reach out, we'll have a conversation and I can bring you in and we can do this together. So really, really excited about that. Let me know what you got from today's session. I've loved and enjoyed sharing this with you. It's been quite a long one, so I'll wrap it up here. Lots of love, and let's get going with our 60-day sprint. Let's do this. Bye for now.